Hello, this is Erik Hanscom. Welcome to my second video on Iceland. Well, this began pretty much the way the night before ended, with a fair amount of rain, and I drove around looking for places to fly, but I pretty quickly realized I was driving around for places without rain, and then I would fly in those places. So I got a couple of nice little runs in down the beach, and was able to fly over some beautiful stretches of the Icelandic coast. Saw some more mosses, which were rapidly becoming my favorite plant in Iceland, and generally had a good time flying around, kind of appreciating the fact there wasn't a whole lot of wind, and my little Bebop 2 was holding it together pretty well. But pretty soon we got hit with some pretty heavy rain. You can see it coming in the distance there, and I managed to get the drone down, but as you can see from the video, the rain kind of chased me back in, and so anyway, I had to keep the drone within 100 or so meters of where I was flying, just in case the rain picked up. And about probably 90 seconds into my video, it began coming down pretty well. You can see it hitting the lens right around now, and since I was flying off of my Samsung cell phone, I couldn't really see that I was getting pounded by the rain at this point, and then I finally was able to see clearly enough to realize that that wasn't just junk on my cell phone, that was actually on the lens of the camera. So I quickly brought the Bebop in and landed it. Now, once I got the Bebop landed, obviously I had to try to drive to places where there weren't rains, so I went up north to a place called the Archinus Peninsula, and it was probably about an hour north. It had these lovely little ladybug rocks and some interesting lighthouses, and it was quite a beautiful place, but unfortunately it was just drizzling the whole time, so I really didn't get a chance to get the drone up in the air. But it was definitely a place that I'd love to come back to sometime when it's nice and clear. A lot of these buildings here have been on the coastline for well over 100 years, and before the advent of cars and things like that, you can imagine what kind of a role they played in the culture. As I was driving back, I saw these beautiful mountains. I'd love to fly near the base of those. Unfortunately, every time I got the drone out of the car, it started raining, and about the only the only time I didn't get rain was when I was in the middle of the tunnel there. This is a big church in Reykjavik. It's for Leif Erikson, the son of Eric the Red, who is a famous explorer, discovered North America. This is Eric the Cold. It was pretty cold there. And the Bebop, unfortunately, for most of the rest of the day, stayed in the back of the car.